There are a few things about fasting that when you look at coffees that you can fast with and what they do to improve your health, um, I like you to measure. You could have probably guessed that. Looking to see where your body's at on this journey of improving ketones, your production of ketones. Um, I think I put MCT and heavy whipping cream and butter into my coffee for probably the first year of a ketogenic diet. It was very comforting to me. I loved the taste. Um, I really stopped losing weight because I was putting in way too many calories. I was keto adapted and didn't understand how important it was to keep stressing my metabolism. So I would encourage this teacher to use the online course. If you're trying to teach a tribe of people, please let me help you. It really steps people through the ketogenic diet instead of pecking around a whole bunch of YouTube videos, which we've all done. It really is a process of showing you how do you take the education, you lead the class, I'll do the content. You can use it as many times as you want to share with those people. And it is all these little nuances that I didn't know very well at the beginning part of the ketogenic education that I've had over the last 5 years that I am much better versed at now. So the answer to her question is, when you put MCT or ghee in your coffee, yes, it breaks a fast. So does having BHB. I told you I started fasting, and in my cup here I'm drinking BHB, which are ketones, and there's some stevia in it. If you're looking at the strict rules, that would potentially break my fast. But I want you to see that the process of improving the skill of fasting begins with really honestly assessing where you're at in the journey of improving your health. That it doesn't take a lot of times through a fast, that if you do really good the first time, the second time sometimes is harder. By the third or fourth time, the kind of newness of fasting is worn off, and you're like, okay, I need help getting through this fast. This is where I think a tribe does a really good job. But what I encourage patients to do is, if you're new to fasting, especially intermittent fasting, like she talked about, if you get a lot of comfort out of that morning coffee, stay at that season until you see other metrics that aren't going your way. Whether that's a uric acid that won't go down, whether that's an autoimmune problem that won't get better, or a scale that's not moving anymore. It's at that time that we start saying, let's clean up some areas of your ketogenic journey. And again, I go through those really well in that course, but when people write in and say, can I have a coffee during my fast and not have it break my fast? I think the most pure answer is no, that breaks your fast, but you should prove it to me. The way you prove it is you check your numbers before you have your coffee. You drink the coffee and try to put it in within about 15 minutes, not sip on it for 3 hours. But after about 15 minutes, stop drinking, stop drinking the coffee. And about another 15 to 20 minutes later, so about a half an hour after you started drinking the coffee, check your sugar and your ketones again. And if your sugar shot up and your ketones went down, you broke your fast, especially if it's dramatic. Many people, when they're fat adapted, the fat that they eat does turn into ketones. So you may see a boost of ketones from that fat-based supplement that's in your coffee. The MCT will turn into ketones. But what you sacrifice is that the reason people are using intermittent fasting is to strengthen their body. And if they're at a stage where they can't let go of that, it's okay. Respect that that's where you're at and you're doing the best you can. But if you're looking for the best way to improve your metabolism, it comes with removing the fat from the time where you're fasting. It is a complete absence of calories. I allow black coffee on my fasting for the people I watch, and personally I have black coffee. I allow salt. Specifically, really have been schooled on how important it is to have a salt with a range of minerals in it. For that reason, I use Redmond salt. I put it in my coffee. My husband thinks I'm crazy. He thinks it's awful, but I really like it, especially when I'm fasting. It is as satisfying to me with a salted coffee as it was when I first started fasting and I needed all that cream. Now I don't have any extra calories or fat in my coffee during a fast, And it took me a season to get there. I wasn't ready to let go of it for a year. And to this day, if I'm having a really crabby day and if my husband wants to comfort me, he'll go buy me a coffee from Starbucks or coffee shop that has very heavy cream, and he knows I'll love it. I'll still add salt to that too, though. So I'm going to have you watch through this because when it comes to teaching people about the things that they can put in their coffee, I do think there's a good, better, and best for what could be done for supplements. So I like this. It's only a minute long. I'm going to talk you through what it is. So some of this is just getting into ketosis, but what things can you add to a ketogenic diet? So you have salts and you have fats, BHB and MCT. BHB are the salts. That's what's in this right now. We're going to check mine in just a minute. It stands for beta-hydroxybutyrate. It's the same thing that you check when you do this. You can take out these sweeteners and just find capsules with the salts in it. They taste terrible. That's why we put stevia with it. When you put those salts in, they only rise for a couple of hours, but they do trigger your body to begin. They suppress appetite, they give you energy, and there's some signaling. They are a chemical. They really do signal other cells. The opposite, or the other supplement, is a special oil, a C8 or C10 oil of MCT. These oils go into your gut and they are not digested, they're absorbed. So they're there in about 30 minutes and they last for 5 hours with an increased production of ketones. That process of sparking your own liver to make those ketones, it's a learned skill. Like sometimes you got to wake up the body to do it a little better. So as you look at the difference between adding ketones to a fast or adding MCT to a fast, I find that the answer to that is where they're at in their journey. So if you're new to the ketogenic diet and you're just struggling, or you've fallen off the wagon, or you were up too late and your ketones aren't working very well, I still do ketones every once in a while. It's not nearly as often as I used to. I'm getting better. I continue to need it less, but if I'm trying to write or edit and I really need full concentration and my brain isn't doing what I want it to, the fastest way to feel better for me is to add some ketones and caffeine. But ketones are relevant to this. If I look at when I was really trying to strengthen what happens to a chronic diabetic, the salts have the sweetener in it. They are also just a flash of increase of the ketones, whereas the fats, those MCTs, will increase those ketones for that 4 to 5 hours after you take them. What happens when ketones are in circulation is they do signal your body. So as you're fasting with a coffee or fasting with just salt and water, when your body makes ketones, much higher, about 100 times more ketones in your body probably more than that actually, when you are the one getting the ketones made from your triglycerides and circulating through your system. But what that presence of ketones does is it communicates to your body, hey, we're not eating. This is a time where we need to get the resources of our energy out of storage, which is fat that's stored, or triglycerides that are in your liver or muscle cells. And that reversal of stored energy is where you get a system that's cleaner.
Please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Stay tuned.